Who will be joining the ranks of evil and Snake Mountain?
And who will be joining the ranks of the good guys and the masters of the universe on Eternia? In episode 31 of figures, playsets, and accessories that will work well with classics and or Masterverse, and in this case, Masterverse, along with some classics playsets. Hi, I'm Super Dave, and we're getting ready to jump into two figures. One that will go along with the evil hordes of Skeletor, and the other one who will be a sketchy and maybe even controversial good guy for Eternia and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So this is going to be interesting, and I hope you'll stick with us because we've got two. We're going to first cover the bad guy, and that's right, the Four Horsemen's incarnation of their new line, the Cosmic Legions. Instead of Mythic Legions, more of a space theme that they're going with, and what better bad guy and villain to join the ranks of Skeletor and Snake Mountain and the Snake Men and the Hordak and all that than a Fly Guy, but we're not going to name him Fly Guy. This is not Racing Stripes after all. Some of you will get that. But this is a menacing, evil fly dude, and guess what I'm going to name him? In my mythos and my Masterverse, I'm naming this fly, this bad guy fly man, humanoid fly, Dung-Pile. That's right, this is Dung-Pile, the evil Dung-Pile, the fly. And that's right, it's summertime. We're swatting these things, trying to kill them, getting rid of them here in the summer. But here is Fly Guy. And there's a write-up of his actual bio if you want to take a look at who they are calling him, and a little bio on him there, as well as a write-up of the mythos that they're forming with this line there, which is very interesting. And this is really cool because they build out their own stories and do a lot of cool things. And there's some of the other figures that are in this space-themed Mythic Legion, but it's now Cosmic Legion line that the Four Horsemen are doing, and boy, they look really cool. And I've got a couple of these coming, but had to get this Fly Guy, this guy Dung-Pile, in my Masterverse. And so yes, I think this guy's going to go well with my Masterverse figures, even the classics figures. But let's go take a look at him over here in Snake Mountain, and then in just a little bit we're going to also look at the mysterious, who is it going to be that's going to join the ranks of the good guys for the Masters of the Universe. Let's check it out. And here we are to look at none other than Dung-Pile himself. A fly to go along with the Masters of the Universe villains. And he is incredible. He comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands. Some are horizontally hinged and some are vertically hinged. They're not really all that different. They have 3 claws on each. You can see that one that's on that weapon that he comes with, which is a really long weapon. That's a trademark of the Four Horsemen and the Legions. A long spear or banner type staff. And but these hands are really neat. And he comes equipped with those, which are really detailed looking, with the almost like claws and almost webbing almost look to it. Now these items here, with the help of Trap Jaw, but these items here, starting at the top here, these antennae, they were in the package you had to attach, and even these type jaw type pieces here, 1, 2. And then this extra arm, 1, 2, and then also, of course, his wings on the back. They all had to be attached, and even those little laser cannons on his wrists, 1, 2, those all had to be attached, and I went ahead and did that. But you can see the antenna, you can see those jaw-like parts of his mouth that had to be attached there that come out, so they tab in and have a little left and right written on them. And these are actually fully articulated little arms. There's an articulation here, here, and at the wrist a little bit, and so that's pretty cool. So you have two sets of or actually, you know, one big set of arms and one small set of arms, and then of course your legs. So this guy is just so cool. I wish you could see it. The camera really doesn't do it justice, but I wish you could just see the quality of those eyes. You know, they look very fly-like. Just everything about him screams fly. And if you've seen those flies that almost have that like holographic, you know, look to it, colorful, you know, almost look to them, that's what this one looks like. And he is just really cool. But he also comes with this gun here, just really neat, because look at all the like details to it and indentions and wear and tear to it. Look almost like, you know, it's not brand new. And then it almost has like eyes in the back end here, which is really kind of cool. I don't know, it reminds me of Aliens, you know, in a way. But that's what he comes with. That's his accessories, and he's just looking so cool. Let me go ahead and go over some of the articulation and give you an idea of how this guy moves. So moving this guy on in here, I went ahead and swapped out this hand. This one actually has a actual unique piece attached on the inside, so that it actually is designed specifically to hold this staff, with a little tab that will lean against the staff, and then the two fingers tightly clench. So yes, there are subtle differences to those hands to be able to get so many of them, but yeah, that's, you know, just part of it. And of course they swivel and hinge. Some of them, like I said, are vertically hinged, some of them are horizontally hinged. Trying to get that out of the way though, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out that hand, because it's just that piece is just so much in the way there. But went ahead and popped on one of the ones that is vertically hinged, so you can see there that it's vertically hinged on that side. So that's really neat. And you're not going to get a whole lot of articulation out of Mythic Legion, or in this case Cosmic Legion. No bicep swivel. You're going to be able to go up about that much, so not even quite 90 degrees for the shoulders. You're not really even going to be able to get 360 because of all that's going on here, but you do have elbow swivel, single jointed elbows that get about that far, which is not quite 90, but it's far enough. And I mentioned already that these little pieces are removable, these little blasters that pop on to his forearms there. So you know, functional, yes, but not a whole lot of articulation. This is kind of surprising, this little piece that you're able to put on this side over here. You know, it's going to be able to go up and down. You have a single jointed elbow, as well as a swivel at the elbow there, and then you have a little swivel there at the hand, the wrist there. So you can see that these little extra arms, the smaller extra arms, are pretty cool there. Now let's go ahead and look at the head though. This is really neat. He's going to be able to, well, it popped off there, but let me see. While we've got that off, let's go ahead and see. Nope, there's not really a articulation up inside the neck. Don't even think it turns. There's a lot going on up here. And while this happened, I'll just go ahead and show you. There's one of the antenna. You can see how there's a left and right written on there. So you just kind of pop those back inside of the head. I might have to glue those on if they keep popping out, but you can see how neat that head looks. Just take a look at that, really cool. So that ball joint just pops on there, and that's all we've got is just a ball joint. So he's going to be able to look up that much. He's going to be able to look down all the way. He's also going to be able to get some really good pivot, as you can see there, as well as looking left to right. So really good, you know, articulation of the head, being that ball joint is so huge. We don't get a diaphragm joint, but we do have a ball joint in the waist like normal. So you're going to be able to go side to side and forward just about that much, and then back a little bit ways also. Now as far as your legs, you're going to get full splits. Those legs, you do have a thigh swivel there. You're going to be able to go up a really good amount there as far as with that leg. You do get single jointed knees, and you do have a swivel at the knee. You're going to be able to go up about that far with that foot. You're going to be able to go down, not quite tiptoes, but a decent amount. You have rockers. Looks like you even have a peg hole in the bottom, which is interesting. Look at all the detail here to these feet. Really interesting, really nice, really heavy and bulky looking figure, and nice looking. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and measure him just to see kind of how tall these figures are right quick while we're at it here. And I think I'm at a bad angle for the camera, but I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. Measuring in at the top of his antenna, it's 7 inches exactly. And about, if you measure in at the top of like the dome over his head, it's about 6 3/4, right at 6 3/4. But obviously that's without, you know, any wings involved too. But the antenna go up a little far, so that's 7 inches basically at the base of his antenna coming up here. So that's actually a good size, so that kind of gives you an idea. But let's go ahead and look at this guy full circle. This is what I wanted to do. Just take a look at the details. Check, just see how the light hits. Look at this anus part here to the fly. I mean, you can bend these wings forward a little bit. Might have to move it, lean him forward a little bit here so you can see. But look at the anus part of the fly there. Very interesting. Matter of fact, let me just turn those out of the way so you can really get a look at it. It's even got like a stinger, which I know flies don't usually have a stinger, but he's got a stinger, all right? So, I mean, talking about a nemesis for buzz off, right? But he is just so cool. Just look at the detail of this spine, the look of that, and then the gear work. There's like metal gear work to that uniform helmet type thing he's got going on, and his belt, and just everything, the way it highlights. And I just love the way these wings are done. They look just like fly wings. They're translucent. They have the veins going through them, or just the formations of them. Basically, all you get to do is go up and down. You're going to be able to go up all the way and back. You're going to be able to go up all the way. I haven't been able to tell that you can really separate the two pieces. You know, there they are, but they don't really separate. But it will hinge out like so, of course, like that, and then hinge back in like that. But it hits up here and all this stuff, so it's kind of designed just to kind of sit like that, like a fly would. And I'm saying you can't, you know, bring him up, make him look like he's flying. You could see like that. That's certainly a possibility. But to me, he looks cool standing for sure. In place with his, you know, that to me he's a fly. I mean, you know, being he's got a stinger, maybe some others would say he's something else, but to me this guy screams fly. So I'm naming him Dung-Pile in my my MOTU universe for, you know, villains. But let's continue spinning him around here so you get the full effect. I mean, even underneath here, just all of this detail. There's some purples. There's just that holographic style. I call it holographic style coloring that just, you know, sets off all the colors, just brings them to life. Just really, really awesome all the way around. This guy is just so fun, just so cool, just so neat. And man, I'm just amazed. I mean, you know, even though he is, I believe this one was at the $59 mark, $59, you know, with everything that he comes with and just the look of him, the quality of him, I'm just amazed. So let's go ahead now and do some comparisons. And here we are to look at our Dung-Pile next to Skeletor. And that's the Revelation Skeletor with a Hordak MX head sculpt. And then our deluxe Clawful, New Eternia Clawful. And he is looking outstanding next to these. I mean, just awesome. really cool looking next to this Clawful, as well as next to our Skeletor here. And here he is next to our Deluxe Whiplash, New Eternia Whiplash, as well as our New Eternia Faker with the orange get up on as far as his chest armor from the Revelation Faker on him instead of the purple one. But boy, this guy is just looking dynamite no matter who you put him with. Strapped on his other hand that allows him to hold that staff really well with a vertical hinge on there, so that looks really good. And I put his arm back and then put that other hand forward with the little arm and hand, the small one forward. He could hold something too, possibly in that little claw type hand that comes around. But this, just take a look at how these look next to each other. They are just phenomenal, just really neat. Look at that, just such a cool backdrop, just so nice. And here he is next to our Disney Gargoyle Demona action figure, Ultimates Demona, as well as a MOTU Classics Fangor. And boy, do they just fit great together. Obviously, he is taller than the MOTU Classics figure there, but still fits in great as far as the quality and look and build and just the theme. I mean, the snake with the fly, you know. But and yes, of course, he's huge, but that just goes along with the rest of our, you know, figures. If a lizard can be huge and a snake can be, you know, a humanoid, then, and a spider can be a humanoid, then why can't a fly? And speaking of a spider, let's look at him next to Web Store. And here is our Dung-Pile next to Web Store by Masterverse, New Eternia Web Store. I've got him hanging from a stand here. He's looking cool with those translucent red eyes. We've got a review up on him if you want to see that. And then here he is with the Mythic Legions homage to Web Store. They're 2, 4, 6, 8-legged, really 6 arms and 2 legs, but this kind of looks like a Web Store as well, a spider type Arachnian from Arachnia. And our fly, and I've got him in a flying pose here using a little stand so you kind of see what he would look like if he's flying. So he can kind of perch and hover as well. So that is so cool. So there you have it. We have our spider type figure by the New Eternia Web Store, as well as a fly figure. So that is so cool. They look good together. And this fly guy is just so neat. But he's not Fly Guy. He's Dung-Pile. Not Gomer Pile, but Dung-Pile. And who is the figure that is going to go along with our Masters of the Universe and Eternia heroes? Who is this controversial figure that could possibly be a hero, or actually a heroine, with He-Man? None other than Red Sonja. Oh yes, not only is she hot, but she's powerful and strong and a mighty warrior who can fight well as well. So she, I think, goes great along with this mythos. Just take a look at her in this box. Just wicked. Such a cool figure, such a cool character. And here is her bio. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you can. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this Red Sonja and just check her out of the box. Boom, 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 boom. And here she is, being admired and looked at by all of Eternia, Red Sonja. And she is awesome. She comes with that broadsword with a long handle. She can get some double-handed poses on that. Look at that beautiful head sculpt, beautiful portrait. Just killer eyes and hair and lips. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful sculpt in general, and looks like the articulation is on point. She comes with 2 balled up fisted hands, 2 actually vertically hinged weapon holding hands, two knife blades, this long axe with like a wooden handle, really cool, with some battle damage scarring with even like a mace spikes on the end. Then she comes with two horizontally hinged open palm gesturing style hands, so that is really cool. And they're gloved as well, they're like gloved, so that is just so neat. And so that is her accessories, and she is just looking dynamite. Now, she's a little controversial because she's somewhat of a free spirit. She's not always necessarily allying herself with what you would say the good guys. So He-Man's gonna have to have a talk with her, because you know He-Man is virtuous in every way, so is Sun-Man. And so for her to kind of come alongside, I kind of think of Sonja here, Red Sonja, in this mythos is almost kind of like Catwoman in Batman's mythos. But you know, she's not a thief necessarily, but she has stolen things. Is definitely one who has murdered to get ahead, but also usually to benefit the allies, the good guys. So I think she's like one who could come alongside of He-Man at certain times. She could be called upon. And of course, you know, we have our She-Ra over here, and then we have our Femmiere, our kind of female version of a He-Man, but I've named her Femmiere. And so there we have Golden Axe, Tyrus Flare figure, as well as our gargoyles girl back there. So cool. I'm just excited about these strong buff females, and then to add her to our collection here, I just think she is awesome. Really cool. So 3 sets of hands, an axe, a long sword, as well as 2 knives. She comes decked out, not necessarily with the most clothes, but certainly a good round of accessories. I like those boots, the way they're formed on her, and just everything looks really cool. So let's give her a spin and check her out full circle. And here she comes, full circle, looking awesome, Red Sonja. Yeah, she's kind of an outlaw, mercenary, warrior, and queen. After escaping her bloody origin, she haunted the wilderness of Haikania, thieved the streets and palaces of Padisha, and sold her sword on battlefields from Koth to Aquilania. Red Sonja slew the king who tried to possess her and freed the world from the dark sorcery of Kulan Gath. Forced to flee her homeland, she rode west across the Turanian steeps and into the shadow mists of Legendary. So she has now ended up in Eternia to hopefully clean up her act a little bit. But she's been through a lot. She's been hurt. She's been heartbroken. But she is open to love. So who knows? She is cool though. Alright, let's take a look at Red Sonja's Articulation. Alright, taking a closer look at Red Sonja here, and go ahead and remove this battle axe from her. She's going to be able to look up pretty much that much with the help of her diaphragm. She's going to be able to look up that much. I mean, of course, you got this hair to contend with. She's going to be able to look down a pretty decent amount, especially using the diaphragm. Actually going ahead and incorporating that a little bit. But her head will actually go down a really good amount without the diaphragm. So that's interesting. You're going to be able to get some really nice head pivot going on here. Pardon me. But that is really cool. And then you're going to be able to, of course, turn about that much to the side, and then this way, going about that far before that hair hits her shoulders and not able to go any further. All right, moving on to the arms. She's going to be able to get better than 90 degrees, a little bit better. It's T-pose, of course. You're going to be able to get full 360 on both sides. You do have shoulder joint but you also have a bicep swivel that is hidden right behind that jewel, that bracelet, and it's real tight, but it's present there, and you can swivel that right there. She has single jointed elbows, but actually get 90 degrees. There is not a swivel at that glove, but there is, or at the gauntlet I should say, but there is at the glove wrist, just not at the forearm wrist here, or forearm part of the wrap gauntlet type. And remember, I said these are horizontally hinged, but her weapon holding hands are actually vertically hinged, so that's really nice touch. That's a very good thing. And then moving on to her torso, she's going to be able to crunch forward that much. She's going to be able to bend back that much, so that's really good. Looks good. She's going to be able to also get some side to side motion, so you get the full 360. It looks like I already have a little scarring here from the silver shells or brassiere going on here, so that's unfortunate. This is non-removable. That's actually kind of molded on there. You do see her belly button just slightly up underneath there, and you get a little bit of abs definition going on. You do not get a swivel at the waist, but you do get a swivel at that diaphragm, so that is good. You even get a little bit of bicep definition. You can tell a little bit in there, just slightly when you angle it just right, so that's cool. You're going to be able to get almost full splits, not quite, but it's close. I mean, that is pretty much as you would expect there to get anyway. She's going to be able to kick up a really decent amount there as well. You do get full double jointed knees, so that's nice. And look, this time they hid the thigh cut under this design here, this jewel and metal and strap type leather, so you do get a thigh cut. You do not get a boot cut, but she will go full tiptoes with those shoes. She'll go up all the way. Excellent rockers, and at the toe here you do have a foot peg, so that is really nice. Peg hole, I should say. But she is looking really good. She's got some muscularity to those thighs, really good definition. Love the color of that hair and the look of that hair. Just overall a really good figure that I think is going to make for a excellent ally to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And let's go ahead now and check her out with Conan. And this armor bikinied female warrior looks awesome next to our Mezco Conan. Very awesome. He's on the shorter side, as we've discussed before, but even though she's a tad taller, I think with the right photography and positioning, you could definitely cause these two to match up fine. Concerning Sonja, the Red Sonja, let's talk about her for a moment.
Red Sonja was bestowed her powers by the Red Goddess Scatback. She possessed superhuman speed, strength, agility, and inhuman reflexes. She is also a sword master. Excellent with a number of weapons, even making a weapon out of limited resources when necessary. She is also excellent at archery. She is powerful at hand-to-hand combat. Red Sonja can enter into a state of fury, enabling her to single-handedly take out multiple enemies at one time. Red Sonja is also a skilled tracker and proficient at covering her tracks in espionage. And despite all these powers, she knows that she cannot defeat He-Man. Not because of his powers, which are almost equal to her own, but because the Sorceress of Grayskull has revealed to Red Sonja that He-Man is too virtuous for her to fight. Plus, He-Man does not desire her, but Ozin and Conan do. Red Sonja can only be with a man who can beat her in battle, which makes her virtually unavailable to all. This is Red Sonja's curse and blessing, depending on the situation. She has killed crooked kings, saved villages of women and children from savages, and broken the hearts.
So let's go ahead and check that out by doing some comparisons. And here she is next to She-Ra. New Eternia She-Ra as well as a New Eternia He-Man. She's looking pretty good. She's definitely in the scale with She-Ra there. A little shorter than He-Man, but that goes along with the female figures. They were a little shorter and are a little shorter. Tyra's Flare is definitely larger and taller than Red Sonja. So is my custom Fimiere, a female version of like a He-Man figure. She's really buff and so cool. But yes, she's definitely taller than Red Sonja. But, you know, overall I think she can fit in as a petite female warrior with this bunch.